All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Friday to you. It's Friday, July 9th, 2021. It's episode 360. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit this morning. We're going to talk about the value of having a 360-degree perspective on things. There's a massive amount of value in seeing things from everybody's perspective and not just your own. And that's what we're going to talk about here this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
Good morning and happy Friday, man. You know it's going to be a good Friday when Ed Christensen's the first one to say good morning in the comments, buddy. Wow, look at that. Trisha, got the Lions. We're ready to go out like a lion already this morning. This is going to be a good one, guys. This is one of the chapters in the book that I'm writing has this title, 360-degree perspective. And I thought for episode 360 that we would dig into this topic, because I think it's incredibly valuable to people to be able to see things from other people's perspectives. You know, it is very important in life, in business, in every aspect of life. It's important to be able to not just see things from your own perspective, but to really be able to put yourself in the position of the other people that are involved. And so when you can do that, things get easier, they move faster. There's a lot less trouble, that actually leads to things going faster. And so that's what we're going to dig into this morning. But as always, I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening, Ed? Good morning to you. Trisha, Daniel Good over on YouTube. Jared Bird, good morning. Mikey Bonetto, good morning to you. Tammy Clark, good morning. Curtis, Kim, Nadia, Hal, and Mr. John Rugg. I'll be talking to you here in a few minutes, my brother. Good morning to you. And good morning, Carla. All right, so when we say 360-degree perspective, it is important, guys. First and foremost, it is important to promote the idea of 360-degree perspective in your own life, meaning that you're actually looking for people to give you feedback. Like you're actually looking for people to tell you their perspective so that you can understand them better, right? So that you can have very productive conversations within your group, within your life, within your family. It's important for you to really be open to the criticism and the conflict that comes along with other people's opinions. And so that is an important foundational piece to having a 360-degree perspective, is to actually get feedback from other people. And so if you think about this, and I'm going to talk about kind of three different areas, sales, life, and then generally in business, kind of how this applies, right? But if you don't have a 360-degree perspective, you're going to start to lose touch with what is going on right around you, right? The things that are going on right around you, if you don't put yourself in other people's shoes, if you can't find a way to try and understand where somebody else is coming from, if you're not flexible in some way to be able to see things from another person's perspective, it's going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause a lot of conflict, and conflict can be positive, but in some ways it can be negative as well. And so that's what you see happen sometimes when people surround themselves with, people that only tell them how great they are. That's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing in business. It's a very dangerous thing in your marriage. You want to make sure that your spouse is communicating with you the things that bother him or her, so that you can adjust and, kind of be the best person that you can be. And you need to understand that other person's perspective to be able to do that, right? Sometimes we just don't see things the way that other people are able to. And so that message of being able to see it from somebody else's perspective starts and ends with, them being comfortable enough to share kind of where they're coming from. And then you being able to be educated by that and be able to put yourself in the other person's position a little bit easier. So let's talk about it from a sales perspective, right? If you are working in a sales position, or you're in business of any kind, you're selling something, right? But, sales requires a lot of communication. And so if you are from a position of selling somebody something, you're trying to provide them with a product, and you're just trying to tell them the features and benefits and things like that of the product. It's very different than if you're able to step out of your position as the person representing that product, and you're actually able to put yourself in the position of the person that you are actually trying to solve a problem of. And once you're able to put yourself in that seat and you can see the problems and the challenges that whatever it is you're providing can solve for that person, that's an example of 360-degree perspective, being able to put yourself in the position of that person across the table, and also in the position of the people, maybe the leadership that they are reporting to, and how they would see the solution that you're trying to provide. So you try to see things from every single perspective that would be involved in that, right? And when you're able to do that, when you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes, sales becomes a really positive interaction, right? It becomes very motivating as a salesperson, because you don't actually feel like you're selling anybody. Most of the time when we talk about sales and people have some sort of negative connotation to a salesperson in general, it's because somebody wasn't doing this. They weren't seeing things from your perspective. They were just trying to sell you something. And I've used this example before, but I've gone shopping for vehicles, and somebody didn't even ask me any questions enough to be able to properly qualify me. And they take me to a car which wouldn't even fit my family in it, right? They're trying to sell me the newest, latest, and greatest vehicle that they have on their showroom floor before they actually ask me any questions. And so that is the power when it comes to sales. It's really doing a great job of listening, doing a great job of being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes enough to be able to understand them and actually be able to provide a solution to their problem. And I think it is very, very important for us to realize the power of putting ourselves in the other person's position. And the only way that we can do that, and this is really important, is to listen, right? To actually listen and be open-minded, be open to the ideas of whatever the other person has, so that we can actually either communicate our solution better or communicate our position better, or maybe in some cases, change our position as a result of the communication that comes from the other person. So I think it's really important to realize that to have a 360-degree perspective, that you have to be a good listener, right? You have to be able to understand the other person. And it can't be just all about you, right? Because if it's all about you, that does not include the other people that are involved in the conversation. And we've all been part of one of those conversations, right? Where it's really one-sided. And so that is not a healthy conversation. It's not one that you really want to be part of. And if we can create these spaces where everybody feels heard, everybody feels understood, then it really usually ends in a really great solution for everybody, right? So that is a really important part of being in sales and being in business, is to really try hard to understand things from the other person's perspective. And when you're able to do that, very few companies and very few salespeople actually do that. You will stand out from the competition in a big, big, big way. So in life, what does it look like to have a 360-degree perspective? I'm going to go straight to, just relationships and marriage. I have read a lot of books on the differences between male and female and kind of how we think and how we interact. A great business book, which I have given to Trisha years ago, is called Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. And it really kind of defines the differences between men and women in business, but it's also very useful in your personal life and in marriages. If you have a husband that maybe you feel like doesn't understand women, that would be a great book to encourage him to read. It's very, very important to understand things from the other person's perspective. Well, in marriage, for example, we don't, as men and women, actually have the same pattern of thoughts, right? There are differences, major differences between men and women. And so the more that we communicate and the more that we try to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and the more that we listen, the better that we start to understand that other person's perspective. And so we're able to actually put ourselves in their shoes a little bit easier and more clearly as a result of searching to understand what that perspective is, right? Actually be able to put yourself in your spouse's shoes. It takes work, guys. It's not something that's going to come natural to you. When I read that book years ago, Lean In, it really got me because I felt like a really bad leader for the years, leading up to that book, in the sense that I really just didn't understand some of the things that were in that book, or I really didn't have those thoughts about how females in the workplace actually feel. And so that, again, helped me in my personal life be able to understand some of the things that my wife would feel, or some of the things that, female friends of mine or female coworkers of mine would feel as a result of understanding and seeking to understand the other person's perspective. And so in life, guys, it's really important for us to put in the work to really try to understand that stuff, right? To really try to become a more well-rounded human being. And so by doing that, I think that we establish much deeper relationships, much more solid relationships. And as a result of that, we end up with a much happier and more fulfilled life as a result of what we try to do for others. This morning on Clubhouse, I was talking about, some of the keys to happiness, right? Just what I see in people that are the happiest. And the number, probably the most important thing on the list of things that I went over is those people who are the happiest and most fulfilled are always giving and serving others, right? And so if you're not giving and serving your spouse, or you're not giving and serving those people that you interact with in business by bettering yourself, then that is where I would start, right? If you lean into reading these types of books, no pun intended, but that book titled Lean In is a great one. But if you actually pursue knowledge, it will help you understand. If we just go through life trying to figure it out on the fly, it's a lot more difficult. When I figured out that most books had the answers to the questions that I needed, or podcasts had the answers to the questions that I needed, I really just committed to becoming a better person by spending time every single day consuming that type of content, whether it's audio books or podcasts or YouTube videos, whatever it is. Find those people that have the answers to your questions, and you will start to understand everything around you a lot better, and everything just moves a whole lot faster in your life, and you will feel a lot happier and a lot more fulfilled, and everything will feel a whole lot more stable and predictable when you get to that point. You'll start to see that the people around you start to grow in that same way, because if you are listening to them, they're going to automatically try to do a better job of listening to you. And the last thing is, obviously in business, business is related to sales, but a little bit different. As a business owner, there's a lot of negotiations that happen, right? There's a lot of, deals that, you have to come to some sort of resolution to, whether it be a job, in our case, a job that, something happens on and we got to negotiate, or a price that we have to negotiate, whatever it is. And so in business, I want you guys to remember this. It's very important as you sit at a table and you try to, negotiate something, or you try to come to a conclusion on a business deal. I think that the best deal in business is when everybody feels like they lose a little, right? Where there's not one person that feels like, they kind of got over on everybody else, because that is not a good deal. And that creates a lot of resentment if that's the case, right? So that's not the way that you create very good business relationships long-term. And so as you go through your business career, the most powerful thing that you can do in business is to try to understand other people, and to stay calm and try to listen to what's going on around you, and try to really understand the persona, the personality, the knowledge level, the experience of the people that are around you, so that you can best understand where they're coming from. And so as you lean into this idea of having a 360-degree perspective. You're seeing everything from every single angle. What needs to happen in those business interactions becomes very clear, right? It becomes very easy to see as a result of open and honest conversation. And as you have that open and honest conversation, you will start to figure out exactly, kind of what everybody else wants in the deal and if that's possible or not. And it becomes very easy for you to start to see things from every single person's perspective that is involved. But it starts and ends with great communication and being open and encouraging that type of relationship with everybody that you're involved with, right? And it's as simple as, encourage people to tell the truth and be prepared for what that looks like. And as you embrace the idea of telling the truth and hearing the truth, your life is going to get so much better, and you're going to be a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mom, a better business person, a better salesperson. All around, you're going to be better in every aspect of life, and you're going to live a happier and much more fulfilled life because you're going to feel the growth happening in your life. And I believe that growth really happens when you start to understand other people. A good example of, how people view things differently would be, if you drive a really nice car, there's going to be some people that see success while another person sees a show off or a frivolous spender, right? Some people are going to see success and pride, and some people are going to see a completely different side of that. And so it's important to understand those personalities so that you know how to interact with people and kind of how to communicate with them on whatever level it is. And so I'll end with this, guys. Think about this question. Don't you think that it's worth trying to see things from another person's point of view? And don't you think that would be beneficial to be able to see things from another person's point of view? And when you're able to do that, when you're able to really open up and understand things from other people's perspectives, life just seems to get a rhythm to it. It gets a lot easier, it gets a lot better, and it moves a lot faster, from the standpoint of what you're trying to accomplish and how you're trying to do it. And I can't encourage it enough, guys. It's one of the most powerful things that you can do. It takes listening. It takes really leaning into listening. And once you're able to listen and you're able to open up and kind of hear what everybody else has to say and really try to process that, the path forward in every area of your life will get a lot easier for you to understand. And so on that topic of listening, Morning Perspective is going to have some additions to it. So Morning Perspective will stay the same. So I'll still be here 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. But we're going to start doing some long form interviews. And I'm trying to get those set up starting next week. So they'll start being published in the weeks to come. But I'm going to bring some of the powerful people that I know in my life, some people that I don't know. And I'm going to do, long form interviews with people. And part of that is in my own desire to listen to other people's stories, and to tell those stories and to learn and grow from listening and understanding other people's stories and kind of how they've made it in life. And so look for that coming here in the coming weeks, and make sure that you're subscribed on the podcast platform. We're going to do those podcast only. So make sure that you're subscribed either on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the platforms that you use. Google Podcasts, it's available there too. And make sure that you are subscribed there, because we won't have those on Facebook Live. Those will be pre-recorded long form interviews. And I think that is a way that this community and me can grow from listening to other people's perspectives and really getting a well-rounded knowledge of the people who have done amazing things in the world. And so that will be happening here in the coming weeks and ongoing as long as we can keep going. So, but that's it for today, guys. It is a Friday, so make sure, as always, to go out like a lion. Don't go out like a mouse. So many people, guys, take Fridays off. A reminder this morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is a huge portion of your week. So I'm not telling you to work 7 days a week, but I'm telling you, be aware of what it is that you're actually accomplishing. Are you moving your life forward, especially on Fridays, but all weekend? You know, are you doing something that's productive? Are you growing? Are you stretching yourself? And are you trying to reach the next level? And you can only do that by going out like a lion, going to the whistle, and making sure you put in your very best every single day. So I will leave on this, guys. So today is there's a couple special birthdays in my life for people today. So it is my grandmother who passed away years ago. It is her birthday. And it is also my great friend and advisor, Jay Duran's birthday today. So if you guys know Jay, please wish him a happy birthday today. Go to his Facebook page, go to his Instagram. Let's blow Jay up today and make sure that he feels loved by the Perspective community. And for my Graham, just throw a little happy birthday up there to heaven for her. So appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you again Monday morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.